This is November 9th, 1996. My name is Joe Todd, and this is an interview with Specialist Natasha Spaulding at the 486 Civil Affairs Battalion in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. When's your birthday?
3/11/73.
March 11th, 1973.
Correct.
And where were you born?
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Okay. When did you first join the military?
May 11th, 1990.
Active duty or reserves?
Reserves.
Okay. Why the Army Reserve over Marines, Navy, whatever?
Marines, I didn't consider them smart enough. And I really never was approached by any others, so.
Okay. Where'd you go to basic?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Fort Jackson. Tell me about basic.
I had a blast. It was everything I ever played at home plus, so I had a blast. AIT, on the other hand, wasn't quite
Now
so
you
much
said
fun.
played at home.
Well, I'm from a farm, and my brothers, and I had two brothers and a sister. Of course, the sister is a priest, but my two brothers, and then I had three adopted brothers. So basically, I was one of them, and we played Cowboys and Indians, we played Army, we played, you name it, we did it. I've been shooting rifles since I was 8. I had my first .22 at 8 years old, so it was just everything I'd done at home plus. So
Who was your drill sergeant?
in basic training, Drill Sergeant Hernandez, Drill Sergeant Giles, and Drill Sergeant Kearns.
Which one impressed you the most?
Kern.
Why?
He had a lot of the same morals that my family has. He reminded me a whole lot of my dad. I told him that one time, and from that point on, it was horrible. Spaulding, is this what you do in front of your dad? No, drill sergeant. Then I suggest you get your butt up that hill. And he just was always there to motivate, and he was real positive. He wasn't a negative type person where he pulled you down. He was always uplifting you. So
What's your fondest memory of basic?
Drill Sergeant Giles going, "Private! Are you listening, Private?" With them big old eyes. I just loved him. He was great too.
What's your worst memory of basic?
Drill Sergeant Hernandez throwing something with one of the privates in our office and getting kicked out.
So after basic, where'd you go?
Back to high school. I was a senior in high school. I went between my junior and senior year to basic training. Went black, played softball game the very first night I got home. Actually, I guess it was the second night I got home. I had practice the first night. But
Now, when you joined the reserve, did you join this unit?
yes.
Okay. What is your idea of civil affairs? What is civil affairs?
People ask me that all the time. To me, it's kind of a liaison work. We are a buffer between the military and the civilians, helping the civilians as much as we can, making maybe their standard of living a little higher, helping them with little things that they need, that they're having problems with, problems getting things, we help them with that. Basically, to me, it's almost like a mission trip. You go, you help, you serve, you do the little things that need to be done, and try to make the rest of everybody look better by doing that.
Did you ask to join the civil affairs, or just this is the U.S. Reserve unit?
This is just the one they offered me.
Okay.
I'd never knew what civil affairs was till I came here.
What's your job in the unit now?
A little bit of everything. The copy made. I work in S1 a lot with Sergeant Mills.
Now, what's S1?
Records in the 201 files, basically the admin personnel of the unit.
Did you ever think you'd be called to active duty in the reserves?
Never really thought about it much. It was always there, you always knew it could happen, but I never really thought about it. The first year I was in, my senior year in high school, that's when Saudi took place. I was scared. Then I really did think about it, because everybody around me, all my friends were being called up. You know, the ones who were older and had been in the reserves or National Guard for a while were being called up. And so then I was kind of thinking about it, but since then I really never let it pass over me much.
What's your attitude of going into a hostile area?
I really don't know. Everybody at home still asks me this too, and I tell them, you know, I'm not afraid of going. I'm not afraid of going at all. I'm afraid of coming home more than I am going.
Why?
This part I've been trained for 6.5 years for. I'm going to get more training before I get in there. That part's easy. It's coming home to a family who's gone on with their life for 9 months, and friends who's met new friends and are hanging out with a new group and a new crowd, and come back to the unknown. I just started a new job. We just opened up. They're planning on expanding up to 150 more people by the time I come home. Where am I going to be? You know, I was wanting to be a supervisor. Who knows what? I was the next in line for that. I don't know if I will still be, or, you know, it's just an unknown coming home.
Where do you work?
Sam's Travel Club. I book cruises for them.
What is the problem in Bosnia as you see it?
I see it as a forever going on religious war that honestly I'm not sure that we can stop, but I do feel like if we don't go and to try to do something, it's going to be like the stone thrown in the water. It's just going to ripple out till it eventually comes over to us, and it is going to be our problem. But that's how I foresee it, but I really don't. It's hard to think right now I have to jump in and stop this, because that's what's going to happen 10, 15, 20 years down the road. But that's kind of what it seems like. If you know that's where the stone went in, and it's starting to ripple, and it's going to just keep rippling until it gets worldwide.
How has your attitude toward your training changed before you heard about Bosnia and after?
Towards training, it really hasn't. I've always tried to train like I was going to, you know, like I was there doing it. To me, that was fun. It's not necessarily fun anymore now, it's serious, but that part of it hasn't changed. My mindset towards the whole unit has changed, however. I guess, and I realize I've been babied here because I came in at such a young age, and I was one of the newest and the youngest that they'd ever had, and people kind of took me under their wing and led me on. I just let them, and it's just kept going, and that's changing, and that's good. I think I've needed that for a while, and I'm really glad that that's happening. So the training part hasn't changed, but the whole mindset has. I'm no longer the baby. I have to be up and ready just like everybody else.
How has your attitude toward your family changed?
I have a niece and nephew that I am very, very, very close with, especially my niece. She'll be 2 in January. And I have always spent a lot of time with her. She comes to my house 3 to 4 times a week. Anyway, I've had her over just almost every night. She and I are getting tighter. I'm kind of worried what it's going to be like when I leave for her, but we're getting closer. That's about it. I mean,
when you hear the word Bosnia, what's your reaction?
My grandpa said it yesterday. Isolated, literally isolated. Also, he said he messed up and said Bosnia, and it sounded like nausea. So we kind of made it was a joke, but that's really how it is. It makes. I'm really excited to go. I'm really looking forward to it, but at the same time, it makes a pit in my stomach, kind of nauseating feeling.
Now, this is a classified interview. It is classified secret. And with that, what is your job in Boston going to be?
I really don't know. To be honest with you, I haven't a clue. They haven't given me any indication. And what I figure a lot of that is just so we don't say anything outside that might get us in trouble.
Have any expectations?
I really don't. When you have expectations, that's when you get your hole blown through them and you don't know what, and you're lost when you get there. So to me, if I don't have expectations, then when I get there, I'm open-minded completely. And it's a lot easier to deal with things when you're on an open-minded basis as opposed to, well, this is how it's supposed to be. You know, that's how I feel about it anyway.
When I say Yugoslavia, what's your reaction?
Really, there isn't one. I never thought about these places before. I mean, yeah, they existed, but you never put them in perspective that, hey, they really were there. It was just a place on a map. And right now, it's still a place on the map. I'm going to that place, but it's a place on the map. I don't really know that much about them. It's not one of the bigger places that you study in school. You just, draw the map, color in that place, and go to the next one. You never learn anything about them. So I really have no ideas per se on it.
Of course, I'm sure you've been watching the news about what's going on.
Actually, I haven't been. I don't watch TV because I'm busy.
Yeah.
I rodeo and working, and I've been with my nieces and nephew, and I have chores. We have 125 head of cattle, and I have a horse, and there's just things that have to be done. So.
When I say landmines,
Scare me. That does frighten me, pretty much. I'm not sure how to react to that statement. I've never been around that kind of stuff, so.
how about live fire zone?
That scares me too, but not so much as landmines, for the simple fact that our world is becoming more and more of a live fire zone every day anyway. You hear of people being shot drive-bys that have no reason for it at all, because these people they don't even know who these people are. So that isn't as frightening because I'm prepared for it. It's almost more frightening over here when you're not prepared.
Have you had any classes in the culture for the people over there?
Not yet. They said we're going to have some, but I haven't as of yet.
Going into a combat zone, ever thought of the possibility of you being shot?
Actually, I did more a little bit this week than I ever have. But it doesn't bother me. It's not something I think about. I know it's a real likely thing that could probably happen, but I just don't see it happening. And maybe that's just being young and ignorant, but it's just the way it is. It's not something you have your sights set on, so.
Has the attitude of your family toward you changed?
No, not really. They all go about their same old. Dad and I are real close. We still do things together like we always have. Not any more, not any less. And the same with the rest of them, so.
What would you like to tell your family if you don't come back?
I don't know. I mean, I love him, but that's just not a possibility, I mean, to me, it's just.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. The older ones, they know how I feel. And we've always been real close, so it's going to be hard on them, but we're all real backwoods country, so I guess we can buck up and go on. But really, I don't know. I made a tape for my niece, just like this one, in case something should happen. And my nephew, he's only 4 months old, so he really wouldn't remember me at all. But my name's the only one she can say still, you know. I mean, it comes out Tata, but she doesn't say any of my brothers and sisters' names or anything. So for her, it's real hard to leave. We're real close. She rode my horse with me for the first time when she was 5 months old. So, I mean, it's always been that way. And for her, it's the hardest for me to leave her as opposed to any of them. And I made her a tape, not really saying anything about if I don't make it back, but just so she'll remember me and so she'll know more what what I stand for and what I'm like and what I enjoy doing.
Let me see the American flag now.
I've always, from the time I went to basic training on, it's always meant so much more. Seeing it, hear the national anthem, any of that, just my whole spine tingles, I guess. It's still incredible. It just amazes me. It's almost like a touch from God, you know. Just I get numb sometimes and stuff. It has been like that for, like I said, since I went through basic. I put a lot more emphasis on it than anything I'd ever had before, or probably ever will since. I mean, what I'm doing is for that. It's for my family. It's for the flag. It's for the nation. It actually, it makes me proud to be where I'm at. It makes me want to go and do this, even if it's not something everybody necessarily agrees with, because I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with it. But it needs to be done.
Do you have any comments that you want to make?
Other than, I'm sorry I'm bald.
No problem. Well, this ends part 1 of the interview.
Okay.
Part 2 will be when you return.
The hard part.
Okay, and this has been an interview with Natasha Spaulding on November 9th, 1996 at Broken Arrow. Thank you.